Um, Arsenal fans, listen, just be careful, Jamie. Be careful, all right? Just Faye Carruthers there talking about the list of injuries growing as well. We'll find you updates on Martinelli Tierney. Romelu Lukaku made his second Chelsea debut, scoring his first goal for the Blues this time round, or actually just in general, isn't it? Reece James scored his first goal of the season as well after a poor defensive display from Arsenal. This was Mikel Arteta's 20th defeat as Arsenal manager in the Premier League and his 60th game. So with the boos ringing out around the Emirates at full-time, Gunners boss Mikel Arteta said he was grateful for the fan support.
I think that's part of the results, but as well I must say that I must thank the fans right from the beginning how they were with the team. Even in the second half when things were looking difficult, I think they tried to give the players a boost and push, but it's normal. They come in here to watch the games and want the team winning.
There you go. So the weird thing with the fans is it's been picked up in a few places that he's not almost acknowledging properly the boos, but I think for the majority of it during the game they were quite supportive. They were quite vocal, quite loud, tried to get behind their team. At half-time when they came off and full-time they came off, obviously they're booing because it was 2-0 at half-time, and I thought it could have been worse when it got to that point so early on in the game, Jay, 2-0. You start to worry really for Arsenal, especially an Arsenal defence that 2 games in has already been ragdolled. I didn't expect to win that game, I'll be honest. I didn't expect to win that game.
But what do Arsenal fans expect from their team at the minute? But they're going to go into the international break with 0 points. They've got Man City next week. You know, and I'm just looking at it going, you spent all this money on young talent, and it is young talent and it's potential, right? But there's no other leaders in the team. There's no one grabbing hold of the game and by the scruff of the neck saying, I'm going to take this team forward. I'm going to do it for Arsenal. They've got nothing. They're just a nothing team. And it's almost sad watching how bad they've got. It is.
Stop that, Jamie.
Because I watch Arsenal and, you know, as much as Tottenham is my team, over the years, I do enjoy watching an Arsenal side when they play good football. And I just look at them now and they're just a shadow of what they used to be. I think watching them yesterday, it's probably the worst Arsenal team I think I've seen in the Premier League, especially at the back. I don't know if Arteta knows how to get the best out of the team. I have to say, when he finally gets back his full 11, where he can actually have a proper full 11. So Lacazette, Aubameyang, White, you know, Gabriel, you know, that's his only saving grace right now, is that he is missing probably some key players. But in general, as a team, that it was men against boys yesterday. Chelsea were just so dominant. Lukaku just destroyed the defence.
I spoke to a Chelsea fan and he said, look, I didn't think it was going to be that easy. That was his response because, you know, like I sat there last night thinking, how am I going to cover Arsenal today by saying something that hasn't already been said? And there's nothing really there's nothing really that's not already been said about Arsenal. It's persistent problems that are continuing. But I honestly, when half of your team effectively are not there, and a lot of those are considered, you know, Partey perhaps could be considered as a leader. Aubameyang's meant to be our leader. Tierney, I do think it is a leader on that pitch, actually, and I really hope. I need to find out. I really hope that he's all right for limping off yesterday.
Tierney's the only one who actually can, you know, sort of hold his head up high, in my opinion.
Emile Smith-Rowe.
Smith-Rowe, but he's a young lad. This is the thing. You're looking at these players like, even Tierney is a young lad. Saka, Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Pepe, they're all young kids, you know, like they need leaders on the pitch to help them get through this situation. There's too many times Arsenal now relying on young players, and Arteta is putting these young lads out there and they're getting destroyed. Watching it yesterday with Lukaku playing against them, it was almost like Arsenal under-23s playing against Chelsea's first team, and Lukaku just turned up and was like, we're going to destroy them. Like, it took him 15 minutes to just bully the life out of their defence. It almost got embarrassing.
This is the main difference if you compare Arsenal and Chelsea, who at one stage were great rivals and were trading in silverware in the league as you carried on. The glory days of supporting Arsenal back in the early 2000s as well. It's not really, it's a shadow really of, like you were saying, they're a shadow of that club now. But when you look at the business that the two teams do in the market, yes, we know how Chelsea spend, but Arsenal for a while quite happy to pick up Chelsea's rejects, their scraps essentially. And if that is your model, if that is what you're saying you're doing, you're effectively admitting that we don't have the same ambitions or resources as that club.
Yeah,
we'll take their rejects, and then we'll try and compete at the next bracket down, which is what you feel like they're doing. Yeah, of course.
But I feel like the recruitment, Laura, is still not right. It's okay if you're shopping in a different market, because a lot of us are now compared to Chelsea and Man City. There is another bracket of a market where you are shopping in. But I just look at the players that they're bringing in and the recruitment behind it, and I just don't think it's good enough. I don't look at the players coming in going, oh, that's a great signing. I just don't see it. I don't know what the model is. And looking at the players and the way they're playing with Arteta, I just don't feel like they're buying into it. I don't feel like they believe in what he's trying to do.
We're not making these marquee signings. We're not spending £100 million on players. I don't think that money is there to spend on a single player. They would rather spread it out and like you say, buy in players and develop them. And yeah, where does that leave Arsenal? Probably in the same position for a couple more seasons. Maybe gradually as the players come back. I just do think it's very early. We're only 2 games in. Everybody knows what happened against Brentford. I didn't expect to win against Chelsea. Lots of players are missing. I just think reserve judgment for a little bit. We're only 2 games in.
They're struggling, Laura.
I mean, yeah, I had a meltdown last week.
Yeah,
all right,
come
fine.
on. Let's not get away from the fact Arsenal are in serious trouble. I don't know what is going on with their team. I don't know what's going on with the manager. The belief, the desire to try and win a game of football is just not there. I watched the game and studied the game because you have to. Because I'm looking at going, where is it going wrong? There's just no cohesion in the side. Are we pressing? Are we dropping? Are we playing out from the back? Are we trying to go long? There's no direction and no philosophy. And Arteta's hiding behind this whole, we're building this process. They're not building anything because they're not going anywhere.
What can Arteta do though if the decisions are what it looks like, which is right, we're building for the future and we're bringing in these players? How difficult is it for Arteta that he doesn't just get money to spend on a Lukaku, for example? How much money? How can you really compare the two teams if Chelsea bring in the players that they have over the last couple of seasons and spend bucket loads on players, and Arsenal's big business in the transfer window is... I know,
but the players that they're signing, Laura, it just for me, it's not. It doesn't work. There's loads of players that you can sign, and you see signing go great sign. Aston Villa, great signing. Danny Ings, Bundia, Bailey. You look at the players and go great signings. There's so many players out there that you can sign and go, that's worthy of the money. I look at Arsenal signings and I go, really?
Yeah.
Have you really spent that on him?
Arsenal need a right back. Arsenal need a striker. If they could have gone in and got Tammy Abraham, for example, it would have been amazing. And you're right. You look at Villa. I look at Villa and just think, wow, they had that 1 or 2 window where they didn't do very good business, and they got Wesley, and then all of a sudden they fixed it, and now look what they're doing with money like from Grealish. But who are we selling to getting that much money? Do you know what I mean? Who are we kind of... what are we doing to...
You can't tell me that Arsenal haven't got the money because they spent the money, 125 million. But I look at, if you had 125 million transfer kitty and you signed White, Tavares, Lokonga and Odegaard and Ramsdale, if you put that into Aston Villa's team, you telling me the Aston Villa fans are going to be really happy with that? I don't think they would.